Hey!
Hi!
How's everybody doing? Welcome. Here we are. We made it. 2 weeks ago, Jen was here feeling a little fuzzy. I'm here today feeling a little fuzzy. But we've been together for a little while this morning and digging in, man.
So good.
The work that we're asking our clients to do in the Connected Growth Program, we're doing it ourselves. Like,
big time.
This is not like, oh, we've mastered this and we're going to show you what we mastered.
Right.
We did master it,
Yeah.
but we've mastered it as work that's totally constantly present.
Right.
It's self-coaching. Like, even what we're going to talk about today, how do your entryway and your confidence, like, what do they have in common? Like, we'll be getting right on that with you.
Exactly.
Because, both of us got on, we're like, oh, I feel a little puffy. Oh,
Right.
I feel a little sick. Oh, like, our confidence isn't through the roof, but we break through. Like, we're here because it matters, confidence or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to show you, that you can show up because it matters too. You don't have to have it all put together before you show up. Like, we're freaking figuring it out.
Figuring it out. That's so true.
And we figured out some really good stuff. We have some clients rolling in the program already. We have officially started their walk through the guas. But, man, it is amazing already.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I feel like it's just like
so
the energy is
good.
shifting. And I find that when I do sign on a client, that just making that commitment to the change in their lives all of a sudden starts to shift things, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they just notice like new things happening, or, all of a sudden, they have clarity around something, or money shows up, or, all of a sudden their relationship feels better. Like, it's just profound when you commit to the work, whatever the work that it is that you're doing. When you commit to it, it opens things up and the universe says, okay, let's do this.
Exactly, which is why we're both here.
Right.
Because we committed to the work, brought us to the next level. We've got something amazing to share with our people. And here we are, showing up and sharing, stuffy noses and all. If any of you are local, it might not be allergies, because I spent like a lot of time in bed this week.
Yeah.
It was not allergies. It was sickness. So it's going around. Ugh.
Yeah.
It caught me off guard. But I needed it. I needed to curl up in bed and just shut down.
Yeah.
I canceled 2 other things I had on the table today because I was like, all my energy is going to Feng Shui Friday.
Nice.
So we got to take care of ourselves and figure it out. Today, if you follow me on Instagram, you might want to go check out yesterday's stories. Hi, live viewer. Is it Denise? Ooh, hi, Denise. Hi. If you follow me on Instagram, Denise saw these. My son was reading a book last night called Apples and Oranges. It's the cutest kid's book. It's like, how are underpants and pants alike? They both don't go on your head. It's really funny. It's been fun for all 3 of my kids. And I feel like that's sort of what we're talking about today. Like, what is your confidence and your entryway have in common?
Okay. It's coming full circle. I'm like, I don't know where she's going, but I love it.
Yeah. What does your entryway have to do with your confidence? Well, a lot. We've talked about entryway before. We will put a link to the Bring On Spring video in this comment thread when we're done. That was a great video about entryway. So if you did that work, high five, go you. If you didn't do that work and want to revisit it, super important. And we're going to talk today about what was our theme around that last time in terms of the entryway? I think it was like more about welcoming opportunity and like the way you present yourself to the world, which is very similar to confidence. Right. But yeah, let's talk about it, Jen.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You tell me from Feng Shui perspective how the entryway and your confidence are connected. And then I'll throw in my growth mindset tricks.
Right, exactly. Well, it's how you present yourself how are you presenting yourself to the world, to the outside world, right? And that is a deeper reflection of how you're presenting yourself to yourself, right? And what kind of stories you're telling yourself, what you're capable of. Confidence comes from like a deeper knowing of who you are. And so our entryway really puts us in touch with how well we know ourselves, right? That's what I love about Feng Shui.
Should we take the laptop out front and go look at my entryway?
But it's a great study, right? It's a great study of like, so this is the story that I've been telling myself all this time. And is it true, right? Is it true? Because, yes, if it's there in physical form, then this is the story that's playing out in my head, and I can see it in other parts of my life. But we can make that adjustment in our thought work, which is Amanda's specialty, and we can do it in our physical space. And so by taking a look at our entryway and how we're putting ourselves out there or not putting ourselves out there, right, is very telling about why we are experiencing the current level of success, the current level of finances, how our relationships are, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really great way to dig into that story and get real with ourselves, right? Like really hold the mirror up and say, all right, this is why, so why am I doing that? And how can I not do that so that I can achieve this level of confidence, which will bring in more
peace, clarity.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it reflects into every part of your life, right? And money and love and all that good stuff. So should we dig into like some things to look for?
And if anyone's watching and has a different question for us, this is just what we chose to talk about today, but we are open to answering and serving your Feng Shui growth mindset needs. So ask us anything. We'll give you our co-coaching opinion on it. And you get first priority because you're here live. So
yes,
high five. I will also attach a link to a little YouTube audio I had about some work I did in my front entryway that Jen really helped me with.
So good.
She broke the ice for me, and every time I pull back into my driveway now, or I come home, I'm like, I get a little like, and I feel good.
Right.
And there was more space. I cut down this huge lilac bush. She put these beautiful plants in front of my yard. I took freaking gold nail polish, like not even kidding. My kids are like, Mom, what are you doing? Gold nail polish and painted like the words on my mailbox. But I smile every time I see it. Really interesting
that energy into your house, right?
Yes.
It's so important.
It's so important. So not only do I carry it into my house when I walk through, I carry it away from my house when I leave.
Right.
And
go out into the world and do your work. Yeah.
It's so different.
Yeah,
it just feels so different. And it's still it still needs a ton of work.
It does, but look at how much progress you've made with just those couple of adjustments.
Energetically, it's been huge.
Right.
When I first thought about putting potted plants out front, I was overwhelmed by the work of having to take care of them.
Right.
What was that about?
Right.
So what's really interesting is that Jen got these beautiful potted plants to support me in this journey. And now I have to water them because you have to water potted plants more than you have to water grounded plants. It's been this amazing thing because now I have to give energy to my entryway at least every other day, depending on when it rains. But I want these plants to stay healthy and beautiful. Yeah. And so I'm bringing my energy to my front entryway, giving it love and attention, and just saying hey, everybody, here we are taking care of our home. It reminds me of isn't there a Feng Shui thing where people sweep their front?
Oh, yeah.
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 It's like a Feng Shui thing.
Oh, yeah.
What do people do? Go ahead.
Well, sweeping is huge because it raises the energy, right? Energy tends to settle, okay? So it gets stagnant, and when we're not, mixing it up, it tends to settle. And so sweeping is profoundly useful in not only cleaning, right, which is awesome, but raising that energy up. If you go to think it's Bali, that they sweep everything. Like they sweep the beaches, you know.
Even
like,
in Europe,
yeah,
they're always cleaning sidewalks
right,
and like cleaning frontways and.
Right. There is a raising of the energy, you know, energy settles in valleys, you know. That's why I love this kind of relationship story that, that's why all the castles and the kings and queens, they all like live on the tops of mountains. There's ups because the energy is higher. The vibration is higher up there. That's why you know, when you're hiking a mountain, you know, obviously the physical exertion is great for you, but you also feel really elated being up there at that higher level.
Interesting.
And then people that are in valleys tend to be more prone to depression and sadness. So it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So back to sweeping.
Well, when I'm watering the plants now, I think about that. I think like just give that energetic attention to my space. I'm not actually sweeping. But if my sidewalk had stuff on it, I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I'm now care in this different way.
Right.
And me caring is projecting to the world. Like, that I care about myself, I care about my home, and I care about all of you who are receiving anything you're receiving from me, whether it's coaching or a hug or a high five or an email. Like, I care about that, and I don't want my entryway to affect that relationship,
to repel
exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
And you also can't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm ruining all my potential clients because my entryway is ugly. But it's a great opportunity to just pay attention. Just pay attention to what's happening. And I really just do feel so much better.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I got sick. Like, just had to cleanse it all out. Denise sent me a message that was like, sometimes you just have to curl up in a ball in bed. And I had to. Like,
usually when I get sick, that's what it's about.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes it's just like a detox.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I just need
get that out.
Shut down. Yeah.
And yes, there's a virus going around, but not everyone catches viruses going around. And I needed to, because I needed that reset and I needed that shut down and like turn the world off and curl up in bed.
Exactly. So you can come back out stronger, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it just such an icebreaker to work on something like your entryway, and it feels so good.
Right. It moves things, it shifts things, and you know, there's so many stories. The stories are as unique as you are, and so your story may not be, you know, one of presenting to the world. It could be about making things harder than they need to be, or hiding, or you know, not putting yourself out into the world the way you think you're putting yourself out into the world. But so I'm just thinking about my own entryway. It's kind of, even though you can see the door from the driveway, it's funky, right? Yeah. So you have to walk around a wall, you have to step down, and then you have to step up, and you have to step up again.
It's like, do you really want to come in?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
how committed are you to entering?
Exactly. So there is this, it's difficult. And so because you have to step down first before you make those 2 steps up, we often jump from one step to the other step, skipping the down step, right? And so it's kind of this like clumsy, I got to watch my step, you know, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
Before you walk into the house. And so that's a story that's created every time we go in, every time we go out. And when that was pointed out to me, I was like, oh, okay. All right. That says a lot. That speaks to me in a really deep way as to how I'm making things in my life more difficult. The stress story, which Amanda is helping me with, you know, this stress story, where what comes up for me right this second is that, you know, important people are stressed out. They're always moving and they're always going, and they're very important, and, you know, they must be respected, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so it's a story. You know, successful people don't have to be stressed out, you know, and you don't have to be in that go mode all the time, even when you don't have anything to go to.
It doesn't have to be hard.
Right. It doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be hard. And so for my entryway, I placed this really nice doormats that I love, totally brighten the space. I put in a couple of potted plants, which are on either side of the doorway, which I love. There's just colors
beautiful.
And I added lavender plants to the pots because lavender is so calming and you can smell the lavender as you're walking in and out. So like trying to address that stress story for myself. And then I also put a mat on the lower steps. So you're more likely to step down in this kind of more cushioned, the
mat is welcoming you.
Right? And then I'm stepping up and here I am at my house and it feels really nice and it's pretty. The flowers are there and the smells are nice and it's just this like calming. So like I said, the story of your entryway is as unique as your own story. So it's really cool.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. If you have questions about your own entryway, like, well, this is there, and you're watching the replay or live, send them to us. Like maybe we can help you move something or shift something or take a little picture and send it to us. Maybe we have a quick suggestion. But I also, like, in terms of intention, like I said, when I'm watering the plants, when I'm nurturing and caring for this space, bringing loving energy to the space, for me, my entryway, I feel like there's a softening that needs to happen. And that's been sort of like the nurturing and loving and caring for. It's also fun and playful. Like today I wrote, "It's Feng Shui Friday" in front of my house.
Take a picture of that.
People are going to, I will. I'll take a picture. People are going to walk by, like walking their dogs and be like, "Well, it's Feng Shui Friday." But I don't really care. Like it's fun and playful. And if they want to Google Amanda Kingsley Feng Shui Friday, they'll find it.
Right.
But so I want my entryway to be a couple things. I want it to be fun and playful, but I also want it to be loving and nurturing and caring. And so I do the thought work while I'm doing the physical work. So I will tell myself things like, in caring for these plants, I'm nurturing my network. I'm nurturing my community. I'm making the people smile who walk by walking their dogs, right? Like I am very aware of how my my thoughts and my actions are impacting other people and the greater community. And so I bring that, I don't just like, "Oh, I gotta water the plants."
Right.
Because that would bring that energy. Right. Like, "Oh, I gotta water the plants." I really intentionally, and it doesn't take any more time.
Right.
I just choose to think loving thoughts when I'm watering the plants about myself, about my family, about my community.
Right. I love that. Yes.
And I do that with all of the Feng Shui that Jen guides me through. And that's like, seriously, I manifested tens of thousands of dollars, and I swear it was as much from the intention I put into cleaning a corner in my bathroom as it was her telling me to clean the corner in my bathroom.
Address this, but it's how you address it.
Yeah, it's so how I address it. Like, and I have faith and trust that if I keep loving and nurturing my entryway, it will keep reflecting out that I love and nurture my people.
Yeah.
And so I do both together. And that's why the program's so important, because we really want people to do both together.
Right. Because it's just
you can
the results.
Feng Shui is cool in its energetic way that you can like put a blue piece of paper down and magic stuff happens. But it's not the same kind of magic as when you like intentionally notice your thoughts,
right?
And put purpose and love into what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. Intention is the name of the game, right? With whatever you put into your life, that is the key element for getting what the success that you want from setting that intention is, but combining. The thing I love about Feng Shui is that it allows you to dig into those intentions and dig into that purpose in a different way. That's sometimes more approachable than all of the heavy.
Totally.
Right?
Like,
if you're not sure where to start, hey, start here, you know, and then it opens you up and you go, oh, okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
Right. The clarity.
I had in the YouTube video, I'll post a link to at a moment where I said, like, I don't want to cover up the ugly. And that was a story that runs through lots of parts of my life. And then I was on another healing call with somebody, was it this week? Might have been Tuesday. And the story came up again. And I was like, oh, there's that covering up the ugly story. It came back around. And because I'd already noticed it in my own mind and my own thought work, noticed it through the Feng Shui, I could receive the healing work that I was getting in a really different way because I noticed, like, I was aware of the fact that there it was again. There was that story again.
Yeah.
So the more we pay attention, and just like I know there's a lot of busy people. So when you're driving, pay attention. When you're brushing your teeth, pay attention. Pay attention to your own thoughts. Pay attention to your surroundings. Just start noticing, because what is confidence, right? Like, confidence is when we feel good in who we are and we're able to stand strong and grounded and present and accessible to people. And when you are aware of what's happening in your home, in your mind, in your heart, in your stories, you're able to be more present and confident.
And that confidence radiates out into the world, and it's like a magnet, right? You radiate that confidence out and it comes back to you.
Even when you're like, that's the whole thing about vulnerability, right? Like, even that is such an element of confidence. Like, even when you notice a story and you're like totally embarrassed, like noticing this story for me about covering up the ugly, like, I could notice it and then be horrified and embarrassed. Or I can notice it and be like, oh, so interesting. And then I'm able to share the story, and the people who aren't meant to hear it don't hear it the way they need to. And the people who are do. So there's an element of confidence that comes from just the raw honesty of, like, showing up to yourself and then being willing to put it out there. Knowing that not everybody's going to love it or respond to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Knowing
even today, I was like, this post on my personal page might cause a few unfriend clicks, but that's okay, because it's who I am, and I'm not going to deny who I am for who you are. I'm going to let you be you, and I'm going to be me. And when we do that, the whole world is a better place.
Absolutely.
If we honor each other in the process, right? Absolutely. Like, I can honor the fact that you need to click unfriend, or you need to step away from my email list, or whatever the thing is. I can honor it and be okay with it, and then just move on. So there's an element of confidence in all of that, just like being you. And that's what our entryway, it's like the first thing of who we are.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It shows, that theme shows up throughout our lives, and it's just another opportunity to be able to understand what that theme is. And that's what we tackle in the program, is this theme that is reoccurring in our lives. You know, we may have a few themes going on, but there is this kind of core theme that radiates into every part of our lives. And so we first meet it at the front door, which is really incredible. I
don't know if you notice. If Denise, if you're still the one listening, you'll think this is funny. Here I am, like, I'm just going to put it all out there.
I love that about you.
When I started this last round of Feng Shui with Jen, there was this, I can't get into the whole story, but there was this piece about me being, like, loud and out there and intense, but then really soft on the inside. And there was a drum set, a kid's drum set, like, loud, annoying, like, craziness drum set right in my entryway. And I was like, oh my gosh, Jen. And it was really funny because I noticed it and I moved it, but I moved it like across the porch, still in my entryway, but not quite as like, there you are.
Right.
That was partly because I was really just trying to convince my 4-year-old to get rid of it, which this week he was finally okay with.
Ready to go.
And so now the drum set is out of my entryway. But it was one of these silly things, like, who would think that a drum set in your entryway is meaningful in any way? And for me, it was this story of like, even on this live, like, I'm like, whoa, but
you're not.
But I'm not. I'm also just like soft and love.
Right.
And
I think that was part of the story, right?
Yeah.
Is that you don't want to stop being like, woo, Amanda, but you wanted to, for your own recognition of who you were, you wanted to soften that or feel softer within that, right? Not soften the expansiveness and the excitement and you're like inspirational. You like get people moving, energy. Right? She's got energy. It's amazing. So, but you just wanted to present it in a way that felt better to you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And this drum set was really interesting because like kids would bang on it on the way in and they'd bang on it on the way out. And it was like cute, but also annoying.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I can feel my nerves. Like, oh.
So yeah, it's found its next home, and I hope it finds the perfect spot in that next home because there's nothing wrong with the drum set.
We have a drum set. Yep.
It just was not in the right spot in my house, and it was all the other kids who played with it. It wasn't even my kid. So
right, I know.
But I was holding on to it for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting entryway story. And so I brought it back up because just this week it went into my husband's van because he has a friend who's a drummer and has a new baby. Oh, nice. And he had said to me, like, when we get rid of that drum set, I want to pass it on to, I forget his name.
Yeah.
It's a coworker.
Yeah.
And so it went to its new home in a drummer family. And
perfect.
It was great. But that took me the step of noticing the drum set, moving the drum set across the porch, and then finally getting the drum set out of the house took me 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the first things I noticed.
Right.
But it wasn't immediate.
Right.
And so I really do feel better without it there.
Right. And it's a process, right? I mean,
it's a process
that you are slowly digging into this really deep story that you had around it. And so it doesn't happen immediately. Some people, see things and they're like, oh, there it is and it's gone. But it's okay to like take your time with it and let it, unfold the way it needs to unfold so that, you weren't ready to let it go yet.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's, it's incredible that way for sure.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah, I know. We're pretty good.
We're
like, oh, is that enough to talk about?
I know. Do we get into the next layer or call it a... If you do have questions about your entryway or want to send us any pictures, please do. I'll be happy to send you some suggested like affirmations while you're doing the work.
Yeah.
And then Jen can send you suggestions about what to move or what to shift or like, I don't know how.
What your story might be,
But it can be really powerful to just have somebody else take a look. And we're just going to say, try it, play with it, see how it feels. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it will feel good in 3 weeks and you'll look back and go, oh, that's what she was talking about. Because I have those moments all the time. I am a little resistant to change. So a lot of times I'll get a suggestion. And I'm like, can't do that, can't do that. And then, and then I come around.
Yeah.
So,
I tend to be a little sneaky. Sneaky's probably not the right word, but ninja-ish about my suggestions.
She is ninja-ish.
Why don't you try this? How do you feel about that? Yeah.
It's good. It feels really good. So, thank you for being with us. Write us your comments and questions if you have them. And I don't know when we'll do another Feng Shui Friday. That wraps it up for the month. And And then we will see what happens next. Perhaps maybe like the end of June. We will decide what feels good and tell us what feels good to you. We can serve you in the way that feels right.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye, everybody.